6 specs. The $267 tablet wins 6. The $599 iPad wins 1. And in June, Apple put the iPad's price up by $100. Now, this cheap tablet does get one thing badly wrong. It's real and I'm not going to hide it. So, at number 1, I'm giving you 3 questions. 10 seconds. They tell you whether that one thing matters for you or whether you just saved $330. 7 tablets you can actually buy in 2026. Worst to best. Number 7. The Amazon Fire HD 8. $100. And $100 is genuinely tempting, which is exactly why this one is dangerous. 1280 by 800. That's the screen. On a device you hold inches from your face to read on, but the screen isn't what kills it. There's no Google Play Store on this thing. You get the Amazon App Store. Roughly 500,000 apps. Google Play has about 3.5 million. And it's not a random 500,000. Every Google app, gone. Reddit, gone. Slack, gone. Apple Music, Apple TV, gone. No browser except Amazon's own Silk. The YouTube app isn't an app, it's a web shortcut wearing an icon. You can sideload the Play Store if you're patient. Reviewers point out that doing it can void your updates and make the tablet less stable. So the fix for a lockdown tablet is to break it slightly. Engadget called it hampered by outdated software and said the processor is underpowered compared to even entry-level chips. And the hardware behind it is exactly what $100 buys. A MediaTek MT8169A, 3 GB of memory in the cheap model, 4 if you pay for the bigger storage, 3 GB in 2026. Your phone probably has 3 times that. Reviewers describe hitches and occasional crashes doing ordinary things. It does one thing genuinely well. 13 hours of battery. That's real, and I will give it that. So if you live entirely inside Amazon, and you're buying this for a 7-year-old to watch cartoons on a long flight, fine, it works. Nobody is unhappy. For anybody else, understand what you're actually buying. Not a cheap tablet, a storefront with a screen attached that has already decided which apps you're allowed to have. That's why it's last. Hold that $100 in your head though, because for another $167, the tablet at number 1 has a sharper screen than the $600 iPad. We'll get there. Number 6. The Redmi Pad SE 8.7, $115. This one isn't dishonest, it's just old on the inside, and the inside is the part nobody checks. Helio G85, 4 GB in the base model, 1340 by 800. And look underneath, LPDDR4X memory, eMMC 5.1 storage. Our number 1 runs LPDDR5X and UFS 3.1. Those are different generations of both, and that gap shows up every single time an app loads. Here's the detail that tells you how it was costed. It supports 18-watt charging. Xiaomi puts a 10-watt charger in the box. It's also on Wi-Fi 5 in 2026. What it does get right is real. A 6,650 mAh battery, which is a big battery for the size. A 90Hz screen, which is more than the $600 iPad gives you. HyperOS on Android 14, and it has full Google Play, unlike number 7. So none of this ruins it on day 1. It ruins it on day 200, when everything takes half a second longer than you remember, and you can't work out why. That's the specific pain of the cheap tier. Not a device that fails. A device that gradually stops being worth reaching for, so quietly that you never make a decision about it. It just ends up in a drawer. At $115, if that's genuinely your budget, it's the best of the very cheap ones, and I wouldn't argue with you. It's number 6 because everything above it is reaching higher. One more cheap one to clear. Then we hit the tablet almost nobody put on their list, and then the $267 one that beats Apple 6 specs to 1. Number 5. Samsung Galaxy Tab A11, the 8.7-inch one, $127. And this is the best cheap tablet in the video. TechAdvisor called it the best compact cheap tablet you can buy, and at this price they have a point. Helio G99, 90Hz, 5,100 mAh, Samsung software, a name you trust. And then the screen, 800 by 1340, across 8.7 inches. That's the whole story of this tablet. You're getting Samsung's reliability wrapped around a panel you will be reading text on every day for years. Roughly 180 pixels per inch against 343 at number 1, and the corners get cut in the places you don't read about. Wi-Fi 5, USB-C 2.0, 15-watt charging, 4 GB in the base configuration. So here's the honest question with this one. Against the Redmi at $115, you're paying about $12 for the Samsung name, Samsung software, and a chip that's a step up. That's a good deal. That's genuinely a good deal. Buy it if $127 is a hard ceiling. It's the honest answer at that price, and nobody should talk you out of it. But notice what has happened across the bottom 3 of this list. Every one of them is a competent, sensible, well-made device, sitting behind a screen you wouldn't choose if anybody showed you the alternative. That's the trap. The budget tier isn't badly built. It's deliberately capped. From number 4 up, it changes completely. Number 4, Samsung Galaxy Tab A11 Plus, $249, and it landed in US stores on the 8th of January this year. Dimensity 7300 on 4 nanometers. Ships with Android 16 and One UI 8. And here's the number that should stop you. 7 years of security updates and OS upgrades on a $249 tablet. Buy it this year. It's still getting patched in 2033. Samsung used to save that for the flagship S series. They just dropped it on the cheapest line they make. Remember this because it comes back at number 1 and it decides the whole video. Software support never appears in a comparison table and it quietly determines how long a device stays useful. Hardware ages slowly. Abandoned software ages fast. So why is it only number 4? Because it's 11 inches. It's not a small tablet. It showed up in your small tablet search because Samsung named it like a sibling of the 8.7-inch one. At 11 inches, it's a two-hand device. It doesn't go in a jacket. You're not holding it above your face in bed. Everything that makes a small tablet worth owning is gone at that size. Great product, wrong shelf. And I want to be precise about why size is a category and not a preference. An 8-inch tablet competes with your phone. An 11-inch tablet competes with your laptop. Those are two different jobs and two different budgets. And if you bought this because you wanted something for one-handed reading, you didn't buy a bigger version of what you wanted. You bought a different product that happens to share a name. So if 11 inches is genuinely what you want, this is an excellent $249 tablet with 7 years of support, and you should go and get it. It's number 4 here, purely because it's not answering the question this video is asking. Number 3, the Apple iPad Mini A17 Pro, $599. And yes, the best tablet in this video is number 3. Let me defend that. The A17 Pro is the fastest chip here, 1.58 million on Antutu. Nothing else in this ranking touches it. iPadOS manages memory better than Android does. Tablet apps on iPad are built properly, where a lot of Android tablet apps are still stretched phone apps. It holds performance under heat. It will be supported for years. Resale value in 2 years is real money. So what's the problem? In June, Apple raised the price by $100. Same tablet as 2024. Same chip, now $599. And that wasn't greed, it was a memory shortage. DRAM prices are up 171% year over year. Consumer RAM went up as much as 110% in a single quarter. AI data centers are eating the supply. Lenovo, Dell, HP, Acer, and Asus have all warned of 15 to 20% price rises this year. Apple is just the one you noticed. But here's what $600 doesn't buy you. 60 Hz. No promotion. Apple sells 120 Hz as a premium feature on the iPhone Pro and the iPad Pro. On the Mini, you get 60. 2266 by 1488, 500 nits rated, 8 gigabytes of memory. Every one of those numbers gets beaten later in this video by something costing less than half as much. So be honest about what the $600 is buying, because it's not the panel and it's not the battery. It's buying time, years of updates, apps that were actually built for a tablet, a device that still has resale value in 2029. That's a real product and plenty of people should buy it. It's just not a hardware product, and every comparison video that pretends the iPad wins on hardware is lying to you. It's the best tablet here. It's not the best buy. Those are two different questions, and only one of them is the one you're actually asking. Number 2, the Lenovo Legion Y700 2025 model, around $460, and almost nobody put this in their comparison. 8.8 inches, exactly the same size as our winner, and on paper it beats it everywhere. 3040 by 1904, 165 Hz, 600 nits in high brightness mode, Snapdragon 8 Elite on 3 nanometers, 12 or 16 gigs of LPDDR5X. Sharper, faster refresh, brighter, faster chip, more memory, faster storage, better speakers, which is the one thing our winner is genuinely bad at. So why is it number 2? $193. It costs 72% more. And this is the trap nobody draws for you. The first $300 you spend on a tablet buys enormous, obvious upgrades. The next $200 buys differences you have to go hunting for. Both of these screens are already past the point where your eye can resolve pixels at reading distance. One is further past it. That's a real difference worth almost nothing to almost everybody. Where it does earn the money is heat and sustained load, which is exactly our winner's weak spot. Snapdragon 8 Elite on 3 nanometers runs cooler under pressure than anything else in this size class. And if you game seriously, the things it wins on are the things you would actually notice. 165 Hz, UFS 4.0 storage, so levels load faster. Proper stereo Dolby Atmos, so you're not reaching for headphones every session. So if you play demanding games for 2 hours at a stretch, buy the Y700 and enjoy it. That's a real recommendation, not a consolation prize. The strange part is how invisible this tablet is. It's the same size as our winner, it's better in every measurable way, and almost no comparison video includes it. because it mostly sells through import channels rather than sitting on a shelf in a shop. Which tells you something about how these rankings usually get made. Half the tablets people recommend are the ones that are easy to find, not the ones that are good. Number 1. The Alldocube iPlay 70 Mini Ultra, $267. And here's why it wins, head-to-head against the $600 iPad, line by line. Resolution, 2560 by 1600 against the Alldocube, 2266 by 1488. Pixel density, 343 against the Alldocube, roughly 326. Refresh rate, 144 against Alldocube 60, and this is the one you would feel in 30 seconds of holding both. Brightness, notebook check measured 555 nits. The iPad is rated at 500, a measured number beating a claimed one. Memory, 12 gigs against 8. Battery, 7300 milliamp hours against roughly 5000. Chip, a 17 Pro 1.58 million, Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3 1.4 million. Apple wins by 13%. 13% more performance, 124% more money. And the chip is the part people get wrong constantly. Half the internet still lists this tablet with a Helio G99. It doesn't have one. It runs a Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3, which is genuine upper-tier Qualcomm silicon. Notebook check measured 4828 on Geekbench 6 multi-core. That's not a synthetic marketing number. That's an independent lab. Metal unibody, 335 grams, so it's lighter than it looks and you can hold it up for an hour. 256 gigs of UFS 3.1, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.4. Notebook check scored it 84% and said it proves strong performance and long run times don't have to be reserved for flagship tablets. And remember when this was priced, 12 gigabytes of memory, in a year when DRAM went up 171%. This thing was costed in a cheaper world than the one we're in now. And now the thing it gets wrong, because I promised you at the start, and I'm not burying it at the end of a sponsor read. Alldocube has made no binding commitment to ever update this tablet. Notebook Check asked them directly. The answer was that major version updates aren't necessarily part of the directive. Outside the EU, it got vaguer. They said they continue to provide bug fixes and software updates wherever possible. It ships on Android 14 and it may never move past Android 14. Now put that next to number 4. Samsung is giving 7 years on a $249 tablet. Alldocube guarantees nothing. And the rest? All measured, not guessed. It gets noticeably warm under sustained load. Mediocre speakers despite the DTS badge. No fingerprint sensor, no GPS. Weak display calibration. Press hard on the screen and you get a visible ripple. Now sort those by whether they touch you. No GPS matters if you wanted this for navigation in a car. No fingerprint sensor matters if you unlock a device 40 times a day. Warm under load matters if you game for hours. Weak calibration matters if you edit photos. If none of those describe you, you just got a $600 screen for $267, and the speakers are the only thing you will ever actually notice. The update question is the one that should genuinely give you pause, and it's the reason this isn't a blanket recommendation for everyone watching. A tablet frozen on Android 14 is completely fine today. In 3 or 4 years, it's a device that some apps have quietly stopped supporting. So, the 3 questions. Answer these honestly, and you will know in about 10 seconds. 1. How long do you actually keep a tablet? Not the answer you want, the answer your last one gave you. If you replace devices every 2 or 3 years, the update problem never reaches you. If you're still using a tablet from 2019, buy the iPad, because you're the person who will feel it. 2. What's it really for? If the honest list is reading, video, browsing, games and notes, the cheap one wins outright and nothing on it will limit you. If the list includes banking, work software, or anything you need patched for years, that's the one case where the guarantee is worth $330. 3. If it dies in 14 months, what happens? With Apple or Samsung, you walk into a building. With Alldocube, you're dealing with an online seller and a shipping label. If that genuinely stresses you, pay for the peace of mind and let nobody make you feel silly about it. Most people watching answer 2 to 3 years. Media and light apps, and fine handling it online. If that's you, you just kept $330 and got a better screen doing it. That's a good pair of headphones, or a year of every subscription you have. And the trade is honest in both directions. You gave up a support guarantee and a slightly faster chip. You kept a sharper screen, a faster screen, more memory, a bigger battery, and the money. Last thing, should you wait? The iPad Mini 8 is rumored for later this year with an OLED screen, and reports suggest another $100 on the price. I'm labeling that as rumor. But the memory shortage is forecast to run through 2027, and SK Hynix has said it could last past 2030. Everything coming next gets built and priced under those conditions. So the usual advice, wait 6 months and it gets cheaper, is the one thing the data doesn't support this year. Waiting used to be free. It's not currently free. And be clear what waiting actually buys. An OLED iPad mini would be a better tablet. It wouldn't be a cheaper one. If those price reports are right, waiting means paying around $700 for the thing that costs $600 today. So, quickly, the whole list. 7. Amazon Fire HD 8, only if you live inside Amazon. 6. Redmi Pad SE 8.7, the best of the very cheap. 5. Galaxy Tab A11, the honest $127 answer. 4. Galaxy Tab A11 Plus, brilliant, but 11 inches. 3. iPad mini, the best tablet and the worst value. 2. Lenovo Legion Y700, buy it if you game. 1. The Alldocube iPlay 70 Mini Ultra. And one rule to take with you, whichever you pick, check the memory before you check the processor. Everything at the bottom of this list died on pixels or memory, not on speed. The chip decides how fast one app opens. The memory decides whether everything else is still there when you come back. Give me your 3 answers in the comments, how long you keep them, what you use them for, and whether you would risk the cheap one. Subscribe.